Rawson Marshall Thurber, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
What made you say yes to We're the Millers?
It was a really funny script.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty easy yes because there's so few of them in town.
You are so right.
Right.
Now, this film's about a dysfunctional family. And when you look at the cast outright, I'm not saying they're dysfunctional, but you don't think that these four people would gel. But it worked perfectly. How did you go about casting and knowing that it was going to work?
Well, I don't think you ever really know. I think you hope.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you think that it works. I do. I think, for me at least, it was trying to hire actors that I admire.
Yeah.
To come help me tell a story. And that's really the best part of being a director is that you get to hire actors that you're a fan of. And that's what I did here. So we got lucky, I think.
How did you come across, like we know Jennifer Aniston, Jason Sudeikis, Emma Roberts, everyone's going to say yes to them. Will Poulter isn't someone that everybody knows. I thought he was brilliant in this film.
Thank you.
How did you convince the studios that he was the right person?
Well, actually no one's asked me it in that particular way. I only knew Will from Son of Rambo, and that
Brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing, and he was also 4.5 foot and I think 11 years old. And then when he came into audition, a 19-year-old 6'3" beanstalk, and I didn't even put two and two together. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And he gave this incredible audition, and in an American accent, like I didn't know he was British when he walked in, and then and he says, "Right, thanks," and I was like, "Oh God, wow." You're hired. He was amazing. So it was an easy yes for me. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing the role. In terms of the studio, all they had to do was see his audition tape, and they were like, "Yep, that's the guy."
You encourage a lot of improvisation on set. Does that not scare you? Like going off script, and how do you stay focused if you don't know what's going to come out of the actor's mouth next?
Well, so a couple answers there. One is we would always shoot the script, so it wasn't like we didn't know what we were doing when we showed up, or we were making it up, or it wasn't like one day Jason would show up and say, "I want to play a stripper today, and Jen can play my role," and let's it was never that.
Yeah.
It was sort of focused improvisation, which is the best kind. And so in terms of like what they would say, I hired great comic actors because I love them and I want them to bring their genius to the movie. So it didn't matter to me if they said something that wouldn't work later. I got to make those decisions in the editing room.
Yeah.
So you never get stuck. As long as you shoot the script and then you have fun, you're never stuck.
I love outtakes, and I love when people put outtakes that work. Sometimes they're fillers. In this case, they weren't. They were great.
Oh, thank you.
I don't want to give too much away because the element of surprise is great. But let's just say that there's a scene in there to do with friends. How were you nervous approaching that, and how did Jennifer really react, going, "Really? Are you doing a Friends prank on me?"
Well, you've just given away the game.
Oh.
But
I didn't say when or how.
Okay, all right. Well, fair enough. So it was actually Jason and I came up with the joke.
Yeah.
We thought it'd be funny if we did it, played it on Jen. It was the last day of shooting in Wilmington. It was a long day, so everyone was kind of tired, and so Jason and I weren't quite sure if we should do it, because sometimes a prank doesn't go off well, especially if you've been working it's like hour 16, everybody wants to go home. But I'm glad we did. Jason was like, "Yeah, let's do it," and Jen's reaction is exactly the reaction you see in the movie at the end.
Yeah.
She's a good sport. I think she laughed. Everybody laughed on set, and she's a pro.
Now, someone Jen worked with on Friends was Tom Selleck, and
that's right, of course.
I'm a huge fan of Tom Selleck.
Me
and
too.
I've heard, tell me if this is true or not, that you have written a Magnum PI script.
Oh, absolutely. I wrote one a few years ago, actually. I got close to making it at Universal. I was going to direct it, and I wrote it's my favorite script that I've ever written, and Don Belisario, who's the creator of Magnum, really liked the script, and we got close, and I couldn't trick Universal into saying yes, unfortunately.
Can we try again after they've seen We're the Millers?
I would hope. I'll call Donna Langley now. I'll give her a call.
That'd be fantastic. And would there be a cameo from Tom Selleck at all, or is this a complete
So
shift?
the guideline that I brought to it was no mustaches, no short shorts, no cameos.
Okay.
So, probably not.
I look forward to seeing that. But in the meantime, everybody can see We're the Millers in cinemas now.